Okay, so this is for the first tutorial, how to get your hull shape. So we're going to draw the widest part of our canoe first. So the minimum width that it needs to be is 520 at the front and 420 at the back. So the middle should be maybe a little bit bigger than that if you want it to fit the paddlers. And the maximum width you can do anywhere at any point in your canoe is 900 millimeters. So just make sure your units are in millimeters. That's good. And put the precision to at least 4 decimal places. 4 is good. And then OK. So we're going to draw a guideline based on those widths, which are also written in the email I sent out. So just click on the rectangle tool. Specify the first corner point by pressing 0, 0, enter. Specify the other corner point by putting your value in millimeters of what you want your maximum width of your canoe to be. So I'm going to do mine as 700. And then the maximum depth is 350. And the minimum depth is 300. So you can put a value in between that. So I'll do 320, let's say. Again, you put it in the first number, comma, second number, enter. And that's your guideline, so make sure you don't go outside that box when you're drawing your shape. Next, we just want to move it so that the center point is on the origin. So a really easy way to do that is just make sure your object snaps are on. Just pause the video, make sure you have all these snaps on where the check mark is, because they're going to come in handy. So we'll use the move command. Just type move, enter. Select the object, put your mouse over top of it. If you're having trouble clicking directly on the line, you can draw a box from the bottom right to the top left. And when it's highlighted, it'll just turn blue. So press enter. Now it asks you to specify your base point. So we're going to pick the midpoint. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a little green triangle, and you can see the word midpoint comes up when I hit it. You have to have your midpoint object snap on to do that. And then just move it right over to the origin, and you can see it snaps a little green square to the origin as well. So we're just going to draw our shape on the right hand side, okay, because it will be mirrored right along later on in a different program we use. So just make sure you do not cross this center line here. To make sure that you don't, you can even just draw a line up the middle like that. Whenever you want to get rid of a line, like right now I had the line, it's kind of like still going, I don't want to draw anything more, just press the escape key and it disappears. So just draw your shape based on the selection table I sent out in the PowerPoint. I'm just going to draw kind of a random shape, but you can use a lot of these tools. So the line tool, pretty straightforward, just draws a straight line. Circle tool, there's a couple of different options. You can specify 3 points where it'll ask you to pick 3 different points on a circle. I just press Control Z to get rid of that. You can do an arc line. So I like this tool. It gets you a nice smooth line too. So that's what I'm going to use right now. But play around with the different shapes up here. I mean, it's basically just drawing. If you've ever used paint before or anything, it's really similar. Just follow the commands that pop up. So start it at the origin. And then I'll just draw kind of a flatter bottom, or I'm just going to draw a shape, but make your own. Like, I want a bunch of different shapes, so don't be afraid to try something. Try a couple of different ones. So this one, I guess, is kind of more of like a flat bottom-ish with a tumble home. I don't know, I'm kind of just drawing it to show you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Take your time with it, try to get it looking nice, and you know, do a little bit of research into the different canoe shapes. What I have in the PowerPoint is just kind of a really basic outline of the different ones. So if you used a polyline, I mean, you can join these lines. I'll just show you a couple of good tools. So joining, we'll just take these 3 different lines here. If you select them, it'll make it into one solid one. The trim command is another really good one. So say I want to cut this line here right off at the box edge because I'm not supposed to go outside the box, then I can just use trim. And if you press enter again, selects all the objects, and then you can just click on a line you want to trim. So if I want to trim that one, it'll disappear. If I want to trim that one, it would disappear. If I want to trim on the inside, but I want to trim on the outside, so I click and it's gone. And again, escape cancels any command that you're in the middle of. You can just click a line and press the delete command to get rid of it as well. Anyway, so play around, find a different shape. But if you use the polyline or a circle or an arc, sorry, not the polyline, the arc tool or the circle tool, to get the end points, the coordinate points of the ends, it'll only show up, it'll only give you like a couple of coordinates basically, because what we're going to be doing is getting all the points that make up this line. So it's really important that you go in with the polyline tool and trying to stay as close as possible to the smooth line you've drawn with like the nice arc shapes and the circles and stuff. You need to try to make like a bunch of tiny little chords along the line, because we're going to output this line to Excel and it's only going to pick up the end lines. So the shorter your chords, the more accurate your shape is going to look in Excel and the Delftship program that we'll be using. So just do a bunch of tiny little chords like I'm doing here. Hopefully you understand what I mean. Anyways, take your time with it, but I'm just going to speed it up here just so I can show you. Okay. Now you just want to delete your original guideline that you had. This is the polyline. You can tell because there's a bunch of blue squares that show you the endpoints. Hopefully you have more than I do. So you want to delete the other one, which is the arc, and tell it only has a couple of endpoints. So delete it with the delete key. And actually, you can try using this to try to smooth out your line a little bit. Didn't work too well for mine because it was poorly done and quickly done, but you get the idea. So now to get this point, these lines, into an Excel file, you just go list, enter, select objects, and we just want this line here. Press enter again. And then you'll see down here it has in the command bar list, press enter to continue. Just keep pressing enter until the command line is empty. And then press the F2 key, and this is the points of all your line. So go up to the top. You can just copy, Control-C, Control-V into your Excel file. Just widen the A column, the first one you put it in there, and make sure you click in the first column of the B, so right beside what you just put in. And you can just type out exactly how it's shown. The left, this first X value here. So I have 4 decimals, so I put 4 decimals after my 0 here. And then just highlight this whole B row. Go Data, Flash Fill, and if you see, it just picked out all the X values and put them in here. Apparently this function does not work on Macs, so if you know how to do it on a Mac if you have a Mac.